Hey guys, so I'm here going to give a training recap for the last month, and this will also kind of serve as my how I'm feeling going into Raw Nationals video because it is in 14 days from today. So I'm going to talk about three different areas of my training, and hopefully it won't take too long. I already filmed this once and it was like 20 minutes long, and hopefully it won't be 20 minutes long, or I'm gonna have to film it again. So the first thing I want to talk about is how my nutrition's been going. So about probably 2 months ago now, Kelsey was like, I want to make weight. I don't want you to be dieting going into nationals. Like, let's do this. And she dropped me from, I was at 130 carb, and she dropped me down to 100 carb. That was great. Like, she's never cut my calories that much, like, all at once. So that was super fun, and we were grinding like that for about 2 weeks or so when she, like, in check-in, she discovered, like, I'm eating out lunch every day, and she was like, don't do that anymore. Like, no more estimating, no more going out to eat where you're, like, you never know. So I've pretty much stopped going out to eat for about a month now. I've gone out to Moe's like 2 or 3 times. Dale and I are being really, really good about making all of our own food, and I've been cooking for him, and it's been super awesome. And that really helps me make weight. I made weight for the first time, like, I don't know, like it's probably been like a month now. And every time that I've made weight, she's given me a refeed day. We're trying to keep me between like 125.6 and 127. So as of like a week and a half ago, I don't think I've gone above 127. I had a refeed day 2 days ago, and I weighed 127.6, I think it was. I can't remember the decimal, but so I haven't gone into the 128s, which is nice. We're trying to keep it really tight right now. And I've been reversing. So I'm still in a deficit, but not as big of a deficit. I was eating like 1,400 calories a day, and now I'm up to about 1,550, which is really nice. I'm on 115 carb, and I've been like forbidden to go below 115 carb. Yeah. I've been taking my supplements. I'm usually like really sketchy with my supplements going into meets. But this time around, I was just like, I think because I had like my, I got my security deposit back from when Dale and I moved like 2 months ago. I was just like, I'm gonna bite the bullet, and I'm gonna buy a bunch of BCAAs with some of this security deposit. So I did, and I've been drinking it every day. I've been taking my vitamins every day. I've been drinking vitamin C every day, and I feel really, really good. I pretty much am not getting sore. Like maybe a little bit, maybe a little like ache here and there. Like, oh, like right now my traps, I'm like, oh, I can definitely tell that like I squatted a PR a few days ago. So, but I've been, I'm not rolling as much as I should, but I am rolling, and I'm using the TENS unit. I mean, everybody could always do more mobility, so, but I'm feeling really, really good, and I think that the reason that I feel so good, even though, like, we're training really, really, really heavy, is because of how on point my nutrition has been, and my supplements and stuff like that. And because we're in a reverse diet right now, so that's nice. So then the next thing I want to talk about is my programming itself, how it's been going, which is really well. So last time I did a training recap, I wrote it out on my blog, and that was at the end of August. So in the month of September, I've PR'd my squat, I guess, twice. I'm trying to remember the exact day. I squatted 264.6, and that was a 5-pound PR, and I think that happened in September. Then 2 days ago, I squatted 295 for 3, which was a 3-pound PR. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know, like in both of those sets, like I just like sobbed uncontrollably afterwards. And that's because my squat has been stalled since October of 2014. I PR'd my squat at the state meet in 2014, the Georgia State meet, and after that I got injured. I trained for the Arnold injured. It was terrible. And then after the Arnold, I gained a bunch of weight, and then I started working with Kelsey, and we started losing weight, and then we decided to try to drop the weight class. So like through all of that, like from that first initial drop that my squat took because I was injured, like I've been maintaining that. But now that I've been training at 125 to 127 for several months now, my body is like getting used to it. We're coming out of this, those lower macros, and I'm starting to see some PRs in my squat again. And I have fairly like decent leverages for the squat, so it's always been like kind of my better lift. So I'm really hoping that like, you know, it starts taking off again, and then I can kind of fulfill my potential. But, you know, there's plenty of time to do that. Bench has been going really, really well. Again, it's, you know, the same story. Once I started dropping the weight class, my bench has stayed the same. Like, it took maybe like 6 months of dieting before like my bench got back to like where it was, and then it was just like hitting kind of a wall, that, you know, Eric would add like 5 pounds to my programming, and I would either like miss reps or, you know, things like that. So now it's been, I don't know how many weeks in a row it's been, but it's been like a running joke with Eric that like I post a video and it's like, oh, that was a bench PR, and he's like, oh, another week, another bench PR, ho hum, because it's literally been like every single heavy bench day I've been like, oh, that was a rep PR. So I'm meant to tomorrow to actually hit a 1 rep max on my bench. So I'm excited about that. But up until this point, I've had rep PRs on all of my pause reps and some of my touch and go. Eric doesn't do much touch and go work, so I haven't PR'd like, and I used to only do touch and go work. So it's like at the beginning, like everything was a pause PR because I never paused anything. Except for like heavy doubles and singles. So, and that was like only in competitions basically. So, that's been fun to, set all these new pause PRs. And then in some cases he's been having me do touch and go rep work, and I've made some touch and go PRs. Deadlift, he's kind of approached it differently for me this time. And I think this is like kind of how he prefers to write deadlift programming, but, we haven't really, like, he's done this before, but where I've been only pulling singles, I haven't done any rep work, but it was like from week 1, I haven't pulled any reps. Like my first week after my qualifying meet, I pulled 225 for 12 singles with 30-second rests. And now, so I guess, I don't know, that was like 10 weeks ago, and now we're at this past week I pulled 330 for 6 singles with 2 to 3 minute rests. And now this Saturday, I'm meant to pull my gym PR. So I haven't PR'd any reps or anything on deadlift because I haven't been doing that. He was having me do really low block pulls, and I did PR that. So I think that we're gonna be able to sneak a little 2.5 kilo PR on my deadlift at the meet, but I feel kind of like it's been maintaining. But we'll see. It's hard for me to gauge because we've only been doing singles, and I'm like, well, that was pretty easy because it was only 1. So I don't know. I'm just gonna keep trusting him. I know that there's like a lot of proponents of the only pulling singles, and I think that it's helping because I've had to really like work on my setup. So then the next thing I want to talk about is kind of like emotionally how I'm feeling going into nationals, and a lot of that is like wrapped up in this like whole primetime thing. So my last training recap, at the end of it, I wrote about how like I was currently in 8th on the roster, and I was a little bit like, I don't think I'm going to make the cutoff for prime time, because I couldn't really see him taking much more than like 8 or 9 people. And since then, more people have qualified, and now I'm tied in 12th. And when like the registration ended, I was like, I'm definitely not going to make prime time. And, you know, and then we had to, I don't know, we waited like a week or whatever it was before he announced it. And I did make prime time. He cut it off at 9, and I'm tied 12th. And at first, like, for probably like a couple hours, I was a little bit like, I kind of knew I wasn't going to make it, and then I didn't make it, and now I'm like, But then I started realizing, like, oh, there's no pressure. Like, I've been stuck in this, like, cycle of doing the Arnold and Nationals, and they're just, like, the meets, they put a lot of pressure on you, and every time it's like I come in last at the Arnold, so it's like I put all this pressure on myself to like come in last. And if I had made the primetime platform, I would have put all this pressure on myself to come in last. Like I'm probably not gonna make top 5. Like I have this like goal, dream, amazing total that I want that is probably overreaching by about 10 kilos, and it's that would be like, if you look at the people who are registered right now, that would be 5th. But, you know, how I do winds up kind of, where I place winds up how, it depends on how everybody else does too. Like, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do no matter what. And then that, looking at the qualifying totals, like that could put me anywhere from like 5th down to like 12th. Like, we're all really, really neck and neck. So that's crazy that we are, that the 57 class is so stacked. So yeah, I was kind of like upset about prime time, and then I realized there's no pressure, and then now my goal is just like, I want to win my platform. So I go at noon on, well, I weigh in at noon and I lift at 2 on Friday. They're going to be, I think there's all 5 platforms are running during my session. Maybe it was only 4. But I am on the center platform, and I will be in the second flight. And so that's kind of cool. That's like, of the people who will be going during my session, that'll hopefully be kind of like a lot of the hype. So I'm counting on Gino to like kind of hype up my platform a little bit. And my goal is to win my platform. And that, so because he took 9 of the people on primetime, that would kind of like put me in 10th going into the primetime session that night, if that makes sense. And we'll just kind of see. My goal, because, you know, I obviously can't really like control like where I wind up placing, because I can't control how everybody else performs that day. My goal is to go 9 for 9. I think I'm gonna tie my squat PR. I should be able to get a little 2.5 kilo PR on bench. And then I think, again, like I'm having a really hard time like judging how deadlift is going, but I think I'm going to be able to pull a little 2.5 kilo PR as well. Yeah, so that should all add up to a PR total, because I've never done all of my best lifts have never occurred like during the same meet. So even if I just tie all of my best lifts right now, it's going to be a PR total no matter what. And then so with those, hopefully a little 2.5 kilo PRs, I should really just like kind of blow away my PR total. Yeah. So I'm feeling really good that there's kind of like less pressure on me. And now I just like really want to like shine on my platform and win that. And because of how training is going and because of how my body feels, I think things are going to go really, really well. I'm trying to not like freak out. I'm just trying to keep it together. I'm just trying to like things are going well. So just keep focused and, you know, don't spaz out at the last minute, which I'm known to do. So I'm not going to do that. And I'm really excited to see all my teammates in 14 days, and hopefully the next video that I post, besides all my training videos, will be about nationals. So until then, bye.